looks brilliant, give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're burying me, burying me. Yeah, you're burying me, burying me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can think, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Can get you out of my hand again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow. I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. I know you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my head, get you out of my head again. I am in misery. Everyone is watching me when I'm coming around. They all are judging me when I'm lying on the ground. I've got no shelter, I've got no escape. My life is a prison and I can't run away. I feel it in my bones, I'm losing it all. Stuck in my head, I am in misery. Deep inside myself, all I get, my only family. Stuck in the grave, can someone rescue me? I'm burning alive, I got it, I am in
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Taking Over. I am, of course, OLED Ed Fries, and I'm joined by the one and only, the queen of our local establishment, Astrid, the Natural Pizarro.
What a name. Why do I have so many names?
I really don't know.
we gotta keep it more short and sweet after that.
By the way, that thing that you just said in the Discord, it's not fair. It's not fair.
Uh-huh. How are you doing, first of all?
I'm
before
doing
we keep
wonderful.
going?
We got our friend Bobby Munson in here saying, hello, friends. How are you both doing? Hammerstone, well, he tries to spell Hammerstone, but the first one's not quite Hammerstone. It's Hammer T-Stone, and then Hammerstone, and then Hammerstone. But yes, I think he's very excited about his boy Hammerstone from MLW finally popping up in NXT. We'll talk about
Hey,
that.
no.
later.
TNA wrestler Hammerstone. It wasn't Alex, it was Hammerstone too.
It's just Hammerstone, yes. Bobby says, well, I am Hammerstone. Please forgive me. That's fine. This was an episode of NXT. I don't say it's a good episode, and I don't say it's a bad episode.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened, and I don't know if all of it was good.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Like, a lot of things happened.
Plus, the first 30 minutes were commercial free, which didn't help. Made a lot happen.
No. It didn't help you. I was fine with the first 30 minutes being commercial free.
No, I'm just saying it didn't help in the aspect that's like it makes feel like even more happened because of the first 30 minutes being commercial free. So,
I mean, in our defense, only 2 things happened in that. Well, 3 things happened in that 30 minutes.
yeah.
Let's go ahead and start where NXT started. They told us this was going to happen. Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz are unable to compete tonight for mysterious circumstances. Astrid, you didn't want this match to begin with. So aren't you
I
glad
knew you were going to say that.
Aren't you glad that you didn't have to watch that match?
No, it would have helped me a lot more. It would have picked me up from my mood and everything because I'm tired. So, you know. Not that the Street Profits were a bad choice. I'm just clarifying. I was going to
say, before we get very far, I would much rather see Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins than Trey
that's a
Miguel
you
and
thing,
Zach Wentz.
Right? That's a you thing. I'm not saying that that the Street Profits were a bad choice. They were not at all. But the match I did want to see the most was this one. And it didn't happen. Once I saw the social media post from somebody else in the community, I thought it was a joke at first. And then I had to look for NXT's Twitter account. It was not there yet. So I had to go for Ava's Twitter account. Then I found the announcement. I just wanted to cry when I saw it. So, great.
This was a fun match. Like, the match itself, really fun. I thought they were telling a really good story here. The Street Profits understand, shockingly, a team finally understands, the team that has the mentality of never slow down. Just slow them down. Wow. What great. But, like, it sounds so fucking simple, but it's so great. Yeah. They literally slowed them down.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was going well. Mel is here. Hello, Mel. You won't be here long enough to see this, so I'm going to go ahead and put it up now. He was on the show tonight. Go ahead and squee.
We'll give the wonderful Melissa a moment.
I'm waiting for the delay. For anybody asking, I'm waiting for the delay because I do it in about 5 seconds for it to go through on the YouTube side.
Yeah.
No, I love this. I thought the Street Profits were great here. I honestly thought they were going to throw the titles in the Street Profits.
Right?
They got Axiom out of the ring. They smartly broke up the finish. I was like,
they were doing great.
They were setting it up. They did the Doomsday device with the blockbuster. Like, everything was going according to plan. And then the Bloodline comes running out. Tama Tonga Loa, who, by the way, makes his first appearance in NXT since 2014 when he was a Mexican by the name of Camacho. Just figured I'd bring that up because it bears repeating that the last time Tama Tonga was here, he was Mexican, and now he's Tongan.
No, it was Tonga Loa.
That's what I said, Tonga. Did I say Tama?
No, you said Tama.
I said Tama the second time. Sorry, Tonga Loa was Camacho.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yes, his first time back in over 10 years. His first time back in NXT. He didn't botch anything. That's great. They did their little mini. They did their little mini version of the Magic Killer, which is interesting. Yeah. Like, no, the Magic Killer's on top of the shoulders for the Good Brothers. These guys do it halfway down their waists. It's their mini version. And then Jacob Fatu. That's fine. I love Tonga Loa. I'm fine keeping Tonga Loa. I have no issues keeping that man. He's fine. I love all the Tongans. I'll take them all. Jacob Fatu was still there. And they have a social media post afterwards saying that they were here on orders of the tribal chief.
But this is the part I mentioned it to you, and I'm gonna put it here to the peoples, not anybody that's in here right now, but also anybody in the comments watching it later. In the logic of the bloodline, though, right? And now let's not bring all of them in there because there's too many of them. They will not. The ring will be full. There's too many of them at this point. But this is my question, though, and my point with the bloodline. the Bloodline and the Street Profits are going for the tag titles, right? In their minds, wouldn't it be just easier to say, let's just have the Street Profits win the NXT tag team titles? So maybe they're still going after hours to begin with. You know, maybe some logic in that. I don't know.
No. This is wrestler logic. When a wrestler is going after a championship and somebody's in a feud with them and they stop them from winning the championship, it's silly because in theory, you would want X superstar to win the title so that you could then take them on for the title. But it's always a wrestler coming out to interrupt that person from winning the championship. And it makes it's wrestling logic. Also does say
to me,
we're gonna change our minds when Hikuleo gets here.
Yeah. I was just saying, because in my mind, if I wasn't the Bloodline, I would have preferred for them to win the NXT tag titles. I'm like, that way they have a tag team championship in their team, so that way they get off for hours, hopefully, instead of having just costing them that one. For what reason, though? That's the only way that I was like, okay, why did I want them to like cost them the titles like that?
Promotion. This entire
I know it's USA Week. No,
to serve the cage match on SmackDown.
But it's just like that's the only thing that in my mindset I was like, I could have done without this interruption in this match, particularly when it's the first like 5 to 10 minutes of the show and we already get one interruption.
Yep, and Mel says they can't be interrupted. Andre C is here. You're the one keeping Andre C away. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. We then move on to a fantastic video package that if some wrestlers would just keep their trap shot long enough to let the shows happen, they might get the things they want. Sorry, Thunder. I apologize. Like, seriously, was that the worst potential take she could have had?
I just feel if you would have criticized about something, I would have criticized that it took a little bit too long for her to get there, or anybody of the 3 signings, rather than the video package. Like, we've been getting hints about it. We've been getting like moments here and there. So you don't need a video package to know who Giulia is at this point. We just want to see her wrestle because we haven't seen her wrestle in NXT, and then obviously the Impact of the women division. But we can't do that yet because she just started. She literally just got there. So that would be my only complaints. Like, I want to see her wrestle, but I gotta wait. That's the only thing. So it's like a video package. That's all you could come up with. I'm sorry, I disagree. Sorry.
And by the way, for anybody who's really confused about what we're talking about, Thunder Rosa went out and ripped WWE a bit for not giving us video packages and vignettes to prepare the NXT audience for Giulia. Mind you, when she debuted at Stand and Deliver during Mania Week, she got a raucous ovation that she didn't even know was for her.
Mm-hmm.
She then showed up at No Mercy and got a big pop when she debuted.
Yeah.
She then came to the CWC last week and got another big pop because we know who these people are because this is the NXT universe. And then before her first match, NXT does what she says they should have done weeks ago, according to her, which is funny because they had to wait for her to finish with her Marigold stuff so they could put the Marigold stuff in the video package.
Yep, they don't want to put Stardom in there, so you gotta put Marigold. So might as well wait for her to get some stuff in there.
They might not even be allowed to put much Stardom stuff in that package.
They mentioned it though, thank God.
They mentioned that she's a former Stardom World Champion.
Yep.
And they use still photos, which they can obviously use.
Yeah.
But they had to make sure that they could get Marigold footage, which isn't going to be a problem because the two companies are working together. But I just think it's funny that she had that take this morning, and then we got the video package right before the debut match.
Yeah.
And it's not like she came out cold and nobody reacted. If she had come out and nobody reacted, then I would have agreed with Thunder Rosa from the get-go that they should have done that. But this NXT has reacted every time she's been on camera. Every time her name is mentioned, and by the way, I'm being It's Marigold, not Marigold.
There you
Mari.
go.
Thank you, Mal. I appreciate it. Unlike Kimmy, I can take, and Auntie Collins, I can take the critiques on how I pronounce it.
And not only that, but if this was, for example, this is Giulia. If this was somebody that was completely like brand new, like NXT NIL signing, that I will understand of getting a video package because we don't know who they are. Like usually you get glimpses of them or level up, and that's about it. And not even entirely you will know who they are, just a couple matches here and there. So in that instance, I would understand her take. If it was somebody like completely scratch brand new that we don't know who they are. But Giulia has had discussions since her signing online. So already a lot of the community online would know who she is, which entails a lot of the people watching her live there are know who she is. And obviously, based on the reaction from last week, the ones that didn't know about her before would know about her now because of the reaction from last week. So either way, we had moments of seeing her here and there. It's not like she came out of nowhere and poof, she's here. We've seen her before. He's never watched her wrestle though.
Which we finally got today.
Yeah.
Giulia took on Chelsea Green and defeated Chelsea Green in about 10 minutes. And I think that it was 5 minutes too long. Like, don't get me wrong. I liked seeing Giulia. I liked seeing Chelsea get an opportunity to show what she is. Because Chelsea is fantastic and Chelsea is great. And I adore Chelsea Green and everything she brings. However, we're building a world beater in Giulia. Giulia is supposed to walk in the door day one and be able to literally tear down Roxanne Perez. She shouldn't have had to take 10 minutes to defeat Chelsea Green. But I did enjoy getting to see both selling and the offensive side of Giulia in this match. So maybe NXT knows better than I, but I still would have preferred all of this happen in 5 minutes.
I get where you're coming from, but I feel like you can also make her look like, I don't want to say perfect, you know what I mean? It's just like that she does everything and Chelsea doesn't get to do anything either. So it's like, and it felt like kind of like, I don't want to say half and half, but it felt more a little bit more Giulia wrestling a little bit more than Chelsea because Chelsea's the one that took the offense. But I feel like it wasn't bad that it took maybe like 10 minutes with entrances. So I don't think it really was a mistake in that instance. And I tweeted about it, and this is, to me, Chelsea was the perfect opponent for Giulia tonight. You know, Chelsea's one of the few people that has that sorry experience there, and she has that experience with the bumps. You've seen her clip of her getting her neck kicked out of her in Stardom before, and look at her now. So to me, this was exactly what Giulia needed, somebody like this. Not that she has the experience with the way that, you know, Giulia hits, to put it like that, but also the fact that Chelsea knows how to sell. And I feel like she makes Giulia look even great, to put it like that. So, and Giulia's already a badass as it is. She doesn't need the help. But, you know, it happens in the TV. She makes it look great because this is going to get used on the video packages later. So it's good to make her look good to begin with. So to me, I didn't mind that it lasted that long. I wish I could see Giulia wrestling a little bit more, but it's not going to happen with Chelsea tonight. We're definitely going to get that more with Roxanne. And I can't wait for that because I'm like, this was just an insy preview of what we get from her. But I enjoyed it and I loved that match. So I can't wait to see more from her.
And we get it confirmed during the show. October 1st, Giulia versus Roxanne for the NXT Women's Championship is confirmed for October 1st. Now, if we can only figure out who's on the watch along with me, that would be great. Booker's got to get to work here. We have Millie Rose saying that she's currently at a local fair and she's barely able to hear us, but she's still lurking. We greatly appreciate you stopping by and watching. Thank you so much, Millie. We look forward to you jumping in the comment section or tagging us on Twitter with your thoughts on some of these segments on the show, because I am looking forward to some of your thoughts on the women's segments tonight. Noob & Co. is jumping in and joining us. Hello, Noob & Co. Thank you for joining us. I figured when we got a Giulia appearance tonight with a wrestling match, we might find a Noob & Co. popping in. Thank you for joining us. For those that don't know, Noob is a big fan of the Japanese women's wrestling. I see him in a bunch of other channels talking about that, so not a huge surprise to see them here tonight. We get a Trick Williams promo. It's fine. Building up. It's fine.
Oh, but
Pete Dunne has a really good one later. Trick had an okay one here.
And it was really short too. It's like I didn't understand what was the point in that, to be honest. I forgot to mention too. I don't know if you did. We had before, even on Twitter, obviously, the NXT Anonymous video with Tony paying somebody to take out Oba Femi tonight. And yeah, like you said, the interview with Trigger, just like it felt like, I don't want to say it like that, but it felt like really basic. It's like not much to it.
Oh no, it was really basic. It's like, I'm gonna win this match and do the thing and get to the match. And I'm like, all right, cool, Trick. Great. I mean, probably. We then get Jordynne Grace cutting her social media promo as she's working out in the NXT locker room. She's cutting a promo. They're splicing in footage of her working out in the NXT, the PC. She's got the championship belt on backwards, so you can go ahead and see the championship belt that she's working out when she has her back to camera. By the way, smart of her to make sure to continue to get the TNA Knockouts Women's Championship on camera over and over and over again. So many people forget to do this when they do these things. So smart of her to make sure that every time she's on camera, that championship is in view as well. She's cutting a promo, and the NXT graphics department, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, because she's not done cutting the social media promo, and they throw up all the Javon Evans garbage on the TV screen to start his entrance. And I'm like, what the fuck, guys? Come on.
I hated that. It's like, she's not even done talking. It was like, are you serious, Bill? You hear the music already. It's like, did you guys not try to watch this before to know when it ended before you go to the next part? Nah.
You're saying this is his first time seeing Giulia on TV? I guarantee you, a large percentage of the WWE universe will have seen their first start to finish Giulia match in this. I know it was my first start to finish match. I've watched highlights. I've watched clips. I've watched a bunch of different things when it comes to Giulia, but I've never seen a match start to finish until tonight. Chris Parrish jumping in the chat. Hello, Mr. Parrish. Thank you for joining us. Javon Evans comes out for his entrance, and we go to commercial break for the first commercial break of the night. And when we come back, Lexis King.
Hold on. I need my blanket for this. Go ahead.
So Lexis King cuts a promo where his intellectuals, which apparently is what he calls his fan base. Yes, Lexis King, Ed's whipping boy. More of the same coming right now. And he says, they spliced together a thing of my greatest hits. His greatest hits is 3 clips. 3 clips. 2 of them are cheating, and 1 of them is a post-match beatdown. And 1 of them is the clip from last week, where he poorly put his legs up on the ropes to cheat to win the match against Oro Mensah. Where he then, while getting his terrible Tiger King beard cut, goes ahead and cuts a promo on Oro Mensah before he gets attacked by Oro Mensah. And then the promo just ends. Like, out of nowhere, the promo just ends with Oro Mensah beating him down. And then we cut to the NXT women's locker room. And the entire locker room is scuttled up, and everybody's in their ring. And I mean everybody. Everybody but Kalani Jordan is in their ring gear. With the exception of the Terrible Trio, who walks in midway through this promo to start a fight with Lola Vice. And by the way, Lola gives a really interesting line here. And it's the first time I think I'm ever going to compliment Lola Vice. So don't clip this for Andre. Mel, don't let him hear this. Don't let him see nothing. Lola asks JC Jane, hey, Jordan's here for the open challenge. You guys are the leaders of the locker room. You guys are the best ones here. Which one of you 3 is going to answer the challenge? And the whole time Fallon's doing the little hand thing and JC's mocking her. And I'm like, no, that's a valid question. Y'all bitch about not getting opportunities. You all bitch about constantly being overtaken by all of these non-professional wrestlers. Why weren't you first in line to take on Jordynne Grace? Somebody who's worked her way to the top, who's been just like you, who's done all the things that you're bitching about. She's like the epitome of what you want to be. Somebody who's earned it, who's taken the knocks and taken everything and built a division on her massive shoulders. They're like, no, we're not doing this, and they walk away.
Especially if you think about it this way too, as heels, they would like to have the advantage. So it's like you have the advantage of this because you know you're wrestling Jordynne Grace. On Jordynne's plate, Jordynne doesn't know who she's wrestling. So it's like, as a heel, that would like better on you because you're like, I'm prepared. I know who I'm facing. And maybe think about it later. I think it was funny at first, thinking of like Jordynne is Kelani is just sitting in the locker room like, I can't go out there kind of thing, and not dressing up and getting prepared for the open challenge. And I just kept thinking like a few minutes later, you could just go out there and go for the open challenge and win out of the title, honey. You know, you have two shoulders, right? Just letting you know. Just because you have one championship doesn't mean you can't go for a second one. You know? Wow. I wouldn't mind having two. So I was like, I kept thinking about that later. At first, I was like, it looks kind of funny because she feels like she's left out because everybody's getting prepped for the open challenge. She's not. It's like, here, I'll help you get ready, Lola, because I can't go out there. And then I later thought, but you can though.
Yep. 1,000.
There's no reason why you can't go out there too. The only thing I would have said about this though, I would have liked to see all the girls fighting on the way out the way they did before with the open challenges, and then to see who actually gets there at, or like, for example, that would solve, but like whoever came out first getting attacked by whoever and fighting for that chance, because it's not every day you get a Knockouts Championship match. You got to take advantages. I would have liked to see them fighting for it until whoever answered it and got at the beginning of the match there. But I kept thinking about it. It's like, Jordynne, Kolana, you could have had two championships. Why didn't you? I just didn't understand later why she didn't go out there.
I mean, as far as NXT talent is concerned, it's very easy to get a match with Jordynne Grace. Literally just show up at a TNA Impact taping, and you get to be having a match against Jordynne Grace. I've now seen Izzy Dame, Carmen Petrovich, and there was one more. Who was the other one?
Tatum.
Well, Tatum answered at the pay-per-view, but there's another one that answered on a taping. There was a fourth one that answered on a taping. And
I like that being with the partnership and that happening too. That's also something that they mentioned during commentary. Is like, oh, so far Jordynne's have these open challenges and people have answered it and they mentioned them. So it was nice to see that as well. No, we said Izzy. Yeah, the
first one.
Carmen and Tatum. But I do feel like there's another one missing.
I feel like there's somebody else in between Izzy and Carmen, because I know that Tatum answered at the pay-per-view right after Battleground.
Yeah.
I know that Tatum answered that one. And I think we're probably going to get Wendy Chu versus Jordynne Grace at Final Battle or whatever the hell it's called coming up in 2 weeks. What is it called?
Final Battle is a Ring of Honor.
Like, isn't that what Ring of Honor? I don't know.
I keep forgetting the name of it.
Lines. I don't know. It's a TNA pay-per-view. I don't fucking know.
I know you don't care.
It's not that I don't care. I just don't know. It's not Bound for Glory, but I know it's something else.
Victory Road. There you go.
There we go. Victory Road. But while we do have Billy Rose here, she would say, I will say one great thing about Chelsea is that she has the veteran experience to make anyone look good, even when they can make themselves look good, because she's made a career to be a comedy character, which is another way to make a more serious wrestler look that much better. I agree. I have no problem with Chelsea Green being the opponent. I just think that the match should have been a lot more Giulia controlled, less Chelsea controlled. I think Chelsea got too much offense. That's the only complaint I had about that match. We do have Brennan 1996 jumping in here, who said, Becky Lynch, that's definitely not the answer that we were looking for, but she will be back soon enough. STG says he has to confess something to you, Astrid. Come around on Chelsea Green, his hometown girl.
Yes. I love that kind of confession. Good. We love Chelsea Green.
I mean, we do love Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is great. I mean, she's the only person to be fired by WWE 3 times and still be in a prominent position and push without being a champion ever. Oh, sorry, without ever being a singles champion. She's a women's tag team champion, I believe, twice. But, no, we then move on to Javon Evans versus Charlie Dempsey in the Heritage Cup match that Wren Sinclair made because she can't keep her mouth shut and keeps getting in Charlie's business. This was good. I thought this was just fine. It made Javon Evans look great. It continued to make Charlie Dempsey look as good as Charlie Dempsey. We do have a line in here from Vic Joseph when Charlie Dempsey refuses to let go of a submission hold during the end of the 4th to 5th round. Booker T says he didn't hear the bell, and Vic Joseph looks at him and goes, "No, I'd understand that if this were Myles Borne, but we're talking about Charlie Dempsey." And I died. I thought that was hysterical. Playing up the fact that Myles is half deaf, can't hear, has issues with all that. I love that line. It's so I love when Vic gets in it with Booker and does the silly stuff. Paint by numbers, Heritage Cup match. Charlie Dempsey wins the fall in the 2nd round. Going into the commercial break, coming out of the commercial break, Javon Evans wins in the 4th round. And then in the 5th round, Tavion Heights returns from Japan. The suplex god, as he was called in Japan, getting the praise from Great Muta and a bunch of the people over there in the N1 over there in, I believe it was Noah. Going ahead and doing a great job. And, Tavion Heights takes out Javon Evans and rolls him back in the ring. Charlie Dempsey gets the 1, 2, 3. And he retains his Heritage Cup. Ashley, what do you think of that as I go through some of these comments?
Again, I feel like it was a fun match. I was hoping Tavion would return in the next couple of weeks, being that he was done with Noah. So I'm glad it happened during this match. I'm just waiting to see, now that we have a 3 versus 2, who's really going to join Javon and Cedric to take them on, because something's probably going to happen eventually. So I'm waiting to see what happens on that end. But again, nice to see him returning. I want to see how he goes with Wren now, because we haven't seen that yet either. So I'm curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, Millie Rose popping in as I was putting up STG, mostly talking about his love for Chelsea Green now. Chelsea Green getting a lot of offense even when she wins is odd. It was indeed a little bit odd. Speaking of good people, we got our good friends Get the Tables jumping in here in the chat. Thank you, Tony. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you check out Tony for all of your wrestling needs on your watch-along sides, with the exception of October 1st, where we're going to have an NXT watch-along. But he says, I know I'm late, but my goodness, HBK was cooking up some 5-star dinners. HBK was cooking. Some of them were 5 stars. Some of them were idiot sandwiches, as Gordon Ramsay would say. SCG says, I don't love her. I've just come around on her. No. You're gushing.
That's how it starts, though. That's how it starts. I'm letting you know.
Absolutely gushing. Carmen, Izzy, and Tatum is all. Astrid has double checked. Okay, so there was none. It just seemed like there was one in between.
No, it's Ash. That doesn't count. So
STG says that keep in mind that Tony is hey, that's not nice. That's not nice. We all love Chef Sean. He's right here. We put him here because we love Chef Sean. But every chef has a bad meal and a bad order that goes out. Don't worry about it. All chefs have it. Has evidence of the random appearance. Yes, exactly. The random appearance of the bloodline for no reason to attack the Street Profits in something that didn't involve the bloodline. We move on. We get an incredible video package. Really well done horror-style vignette for Rosemary and Wendy Chu. And Ashton, I want you to go ahead and talk about this. I'm sure you took copious notes.
Kind of. No, this was fun to watch. I feel like it definitely is something that we needed to see and have, just because it explains that connection now between Wendy and Rosemary. And I like how they called Wendy the sleeping psycho. Love the name. Keep it, please. I did like the narration though from Rosemary. She's like, "Oh, we have several reasons, so like kind of like why we're teaming up. One we're gonna show you tonight, and then one next week." But he's like, she said, "We have a warning. you may be making your bed, but you hadn't creep and check under the bed or in the closet behind the door to see what was coming up next, and that's a warning for Tatum and Lyra as well. So again, I love the aesthetic of this. I feel like it was really well done. The narration from Rosemary was just on point. I really enjoy this, and I'm glad to see these two like mixing it up too. That's exciting for me. My spoopy girls.
I have a question for you, and you'll be the person who will really understand this. This had one person's fingerprints all over it. And I'm going to wonder if you think that you're like I do. Jeremy Borash, right? This had a Borash feel to it, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was heavily focused on the Hive and on the Rosemary stuff, and then bringing Wendy into the Hive. Talking about how the Hive was the ones who recruited Rosemary to find the sleeping psycho, calling herself the demon assassin, which she is called on a regular basis. I love the idea that, and again, I only say that feels Borash because Borash is the most TNA person in NXT. If Abyss were down there, it would be Abyss. But Jeremy Borash was heavily involved in all of the Hardy stuff, and it felt very Broken Hardy style vignette, which made me think of Jeremy Borash right away as the person who probably put this together.
I didn't think about that, but now that you pointed out, I feel like I do see his fingerprints in this, to be honest. But again, like you said, he's the one that he has that experience with people from TNA. Like I would say most of them, because TNA has a lot of their rosters always the same, to be honest. And he's now in the one in NXT kind of doing this thing. So yeah, I can see it.
Nepotism runs very well, by the way. If you haven't checked out the latest episode of TNA, Nepotism running wild over there, as Santino has now made his daughter, oh God, what the hell is her name? I can't think of her ring name. I can only think of Bianca Sorelli now, and I can't think of the NXT name.
Ariana Grace. How dare you?
That's the one. That's the one. I kept thinking Bianca Sorelli because I'm like, it's Bianca because it's the nepotism thing. Ariana Grace is now, while injured, she is the liaison to TNA from NXT, which is fantastic. Has Ariana Grace butchered names like hip hop? No, she's great. She even pronounced Carmen Petrovic very well. She said they were friends. I'm like, excuse me, what did I miss in between the injury here where they became friends again?
I mean, it's only the time they teamed up together, so you gotta keep that Toronto connection.
Yes, but I understand. But it's like the kayfabe lines on both sides aren't working right here.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I
speaking of wonderful people in the ring, we had Ariana Grace on TNA. We have Oba Femi heading to the ring, but first, he doesn't have on enough clothes for my liking. Ethan Page cuts a promo where he talks about not caring who wins the last man standing match tonight because he's going to win on October 1st, and it's the NX Me era. And I'm like, Astrid, I'm not going to get my Joe Hendry wins on the NXT show. I got so close.
I hate to break it to you.
I got so close. They had the screwy finish at the pay-per-view. They had Joe Hendry built as a star to take a championship. They built right up to it. And then they jumped the ball.
But they still got time. Joe Hendry might come back. He teased it again. Anytime, anywhere. You never know. You still have a little bit of hope there. A little bit.
No, because now the big titles, which is going to be Giulia. The big title swap is going to be Giulia.
Still, there's a contract signing next week. What happens to your contract signings? What are two things might happen? There's always... Exactly. Either somebody gets attacked or somebody interrupts or both. So...
My blood pressure is typically only one of the few things that doesn't go through the roof. We get a graphic of the back and forth between Chef Sean, Bianca, Bianca and Jade.
It's not Bianca Sorelli now.
Oh, it's definitely not Bianca Sorelli. This is the other Bianca. The other Bianca, the one that teams with Jade Cargill.
That one.
Yes. But yes, they're coming to the Chicago show because they want to be part of NXT too after the Street Profits showed up tonight. So yes, Belair is the other one. I know who she is. Ash is very happy. Like, I'm super thrilled to have Bianca Belair in NXT. I mean, if her older sister wants to tag along, that's fine, I guess. But like, I don't need it. I don't need Jade Cargill in NXT. I really don't. By the way, that show's a bit too heavy for my liking now. We'll talk about that more as we get closer to it. But they announced CM Punk has an announcement next week to deal with the show in Chicago. Miz is going to be doing the Miz TV on that show in Chicago. We have 2 championship matches already announced. And now we have Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair coming into NXT for that show. Guy, you do know that we need to promote the St. Louis show too, right? We can save some of this for St. Louis.
No.
For the opening show in Chicago, are they increasing capacity to WWE levels? No, they're not even. I don't even think they're running the WWE arena in Chicago. I think they're running. Hold on, Astrid. While I'm talking about this, why don't you go ahead and talk about Oba Femi taking on Tony D'Angelo's hired mercenary?
I like how people thought this was almost at first because it's like that shade was as tall as almost. Come on, people, that ain't happening. No, the person that got the opportunity to cross over, it's a Hammerstone, as Bobby was alluding to earlier. Let's see if I can find it real quick. It was, there you go, Hammerstone. There you go, he did it. No, very glad that he had the opportunity to cross over. I feel like he's one of those people that I like the highlight that he got, to put it like that, and especially like somebody like Oba Femi. Biggie will be very proud of the meaty men slapping meat over here too as well. I like how they were both able to show up a little bit of themselves, their power, and I don't know how they do it, but I'm very glad that they were able to do something like this, especially with somebody as young as Oba in the ring, compared to Hammerstone, who has more experience. So, and as SCG said, Alex Hammerstone is built. First time seeing him, so yeah, I feel like that's why it's always a good opportunity to see these people from TNA as well, because he has experience with MLW, but MLW doesn't have a large audience, to put it like that, and then he left MLW to TNA. So very glad that he's getting the spotlight in TNA now. So very glad this happened, but of course, no surprise, Oba Femi wins in the end.
Tonight on NXT, we saw the 2 biggest stars MLW has ever had. Homegrown stars in Jacob Fatu and Hammerstone on this show. I just think that's funny. I think there's some fun in that. By the way, to go back to STG's question about are they running WWE levels for that show? They are. They are selling most of the seats already sold throughout a good portion of the arena. There are some seats. It's not a complete arena job. There are going to be some barricaded off in the higher sections, but they are running the Rosemont Horizon, which is the WWE, well, the All-State, which used to be the Rosemont Horizon, which is the WWE arena that they run when they go to Chicago. So they are running the big boys show, which is why you're getting The Miz, which is why you're getting Bianca Belair, which is why you're getting Jade Cargill, which is why you're getting CM Punk. You're getting these names because they need to make sure that they sell the seats to these shows. I would like them to run smaller arenas. I would like NXT to go back on the road full time. We'll see what happens. Oba Femi is delightful. He does another great match. Big mini men slap and meet. They throw each other around. About 7 or 8 minutes. Hammerstone gets beat as he needed to. Continues Oba Femi's push. Tony D'Angelo watching backstage. By the way, did you see the D'Angelo family? Hold on. Not this D'Angelo family, but the other D'Angelo family. Watching the TV backstage from the correct angle.
I know, right?
They had the camera overlooking the TV so that everybody was just facing the TV and in turn facing the camera. Like, oh my God, it's so
happens.
remarkable. But after the match, Tony D'Angelo walks away. Details. No, this was a great match. I think Hammerstone is a talent who can easily be pushed should he need to be. But more importantly, I think it's great to get him in front of that WWE audience with a guy like Oba Femi. They didn't have a bad match. They actually had a really good match. And it made me want more. I want more of these two facing off against each other. We're not going to get it because he didn't do Tony D'Angelo's bidding tonight. So Tony's going to be upset and something bad's going to happen. But at least Hammerstone got a nice payday out of it.
Yeah. Very true.
All right. We move on to Hank Tank arguing with Stone and Turner about the Good Brothers and something about the sound that Hank Tank makes, and I assume it makes wah 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 wah. No?
Sure.
Oh, okay. And then Duke cuts a walking promo with Thea Hale and Riley walking right beside him. And by the way, we should say happy 21st birthday to Miss Thea Hale. I'm sure watching Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne both get injured at the same time was exactly what you wished for your 21st birthday. For those that miss it, there's an accidental spot where Riley Osborne's ankle gets absolutely massacred when Duke Hudson gets pushed into him by Rich Holland. And Riley came up really limp. And all of a sudden they talked about it, and then the camera went yoink, which means it wasn't supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime a wrestling injury happens and the camera stops focusing on it and focuses on anything else, it wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is a Ridge Holland match. Insert, commercial for the Ridge wallet that I'm hoping to get sometime soon in this spot. I mean, it was what it was. He then beats up Ridge Holland. I mean, cool. I don't know.
He beats up
Holland,
Duke.
I don't care. He beat up Duke Hudson, yeah.
No, because I thought you said he beats up Rich Holland. Is that Rich beat himself? How?
Sure, I mean, he put me to sleep. He put half the audience to sleep. I mean, he might as well beat himself up. I don't know.
Almost.
I'm sick of Rich Holland. I don't understand why we're building another heel. NXT, we need to build baby faces. We have 2 top-level baby faces on the entire roster. Trick Williams and Joe Hendry. And Joe Hendry works for a different company.
Yeah. That's what it is.
We then get the picture that Miz TV is going to be on the CW debut in October in Chicago. Pete Dunne then saves the day by coming in here and cutting a great promo, talking about, how Trick needs to figure it out. He points to his bloody black eye that he has going on because he's worked seemingly every show that's could possibly be on for the last 2.5 weeks. He worked Raw, he worked No Mercy, he worked NXT, he worked Raw, he worked NXT, he worked No Mercy. He's been working everywhere.
Yeah.
But he talks about how, you know what, I'm the bruiserweight. I can deal with this. This is what I do for a living. And I'm going to win this match. And I'm like, yeah, Pete, you can win this match. I mean, you can't, but you can.
I do feel bad, though, in the sense of, dude lost a championship match for the NXT title. He lost a contendership. And he lost a contendership for the Intercontinental Championship, too. On both of the shows he's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Yeah. And he lost here, too. So,
yeah.
That's 3 big losses for Pete Dunne. But,
Mm-hmm.
We then cut back to Vic Joseph and Booker T as they're cutting a promo for something or other. Wes Lee comes up and steals Vic Joseph's headset and says, Zach, we both know why Trey couldn't compete tonight, and that's because of me. And we're going to end this in Chicago. Me and you, street fight. So now we got Wes Lee versus Zach Wentz in a street fight in the Chicago show, too. Yeah. So again, CM Punk, Miz TV, Bianca and Jade, NXT Men's Championship match, Ethan Page versus Trick Williams, Roxanne versus Giulia, street fight between Wes Lee and Zach Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
What else can we put on that? Like, there's no more time on that show.
I don't. It just
It's
reminds
not
me
for the
so
X
much.
title. It's not for the X Division title yet. It might be. I doubt it will be, but it might be.
It just feels like that night that they were going against AEW, and they just threw like everything, like all the dynamites in here to make everything explode for this to get the ratings. And I was like, we're gonna get that for the first 2 weeks of like they're gonna throw everything at us just to get those ratings up. And I was like, I can imagine like this is just a start because I feel like there's definitely more coming.
Guys, again, I repeat, we have a show in St. Louis the next week. Can we book some shit for the St. Louis show? You got to move tickets for that one too. I don't know. The night in St. Louis is head-to-head with AEW, not Chicago. No. We're talking about
from before.
We're talking about the show that they did where they had Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman and John Cena and all that with Carmelo versus Braun Breaker, I believe, was the main event for the NXT Championship.
I think so.
That's the show we're talking about. We know that the St. Louis show is going up against head-to-head against AEW because AEW is moved off their regular night. But still, I just wish we'd book some stuff for the St. Louis show because the Chicago show seems full now. Like, we can book some lesser stuff for Chicago now and start booking some good stuff for the St. Louis show.
And I'm surprised they didn't alternate it of having, for example, Ethan and Trick on the first week and then Giulia and Roxanne on their second week, or the other way around. That usually they kind of alternate, and in that way to give the main event opportunity to both championships. So that also feels surprising in a way. So I don't know. But no, Mike, to your point, I was just comparing it that it feels like that night because they're throwing so many things at us already. And we're definitely going to get more by the time it gets closer to the date just because they want the ratings up for the first 2 weeks of the show. Be like, hello, we're here. But yeah, it just feels like there's a lot already. I don't know what else they're going to add at this point.
By the way, we're also getting a Tyler or a Tyrese Halliburton next week. I think he's a professional basketball player, if I remember correctly. I don't fucking know. He had a Twitter thing where he was like, NXT's cooking tonight. Shawn Michaels is like, come down to NXT. And I'm like, why?
I'm just laughing at whoever in the social media department had to handle Sean's Twitter tonight because he had to go back and forth with Bianca and Jade and then back with this person too. It's like, we're paying you a little bit extra to handle his Twitter account because he definitely didn't reply that.
Yeah, Indiana based. I could care less. Like, this is the silly shit that NXT does that I'm like, why? Like, just have him show up in the crowd like we normally do with Raw and SmackDown. Don't have me have a backstage Twitter interaction with him. Like, I don't care. He's not going to sell tickets to the CW fucking C next week. Like, CM Punk is coming. You don't need to worry. You're going to fill the CWC. Hell, you could announce nothing and fill the CWC. It only takes 200 people. Speaking of needing 200 people, Jordynne Grace felt right at home wrestling in front of 200 people as she took on Sol Ruca in the Open Challenge. You like that one?
No, I did not. But first, she had a little stare off with Giulia on her way to the ring, which I don't mind. I don't mind that kind of preview.
Sign me up for that match. I'm down.
Yeah.
He and Jalen Brunson of the Knicks had an interaction on Raw. Can't go back to the crowd spot. I mean, and just don't book them on the show. Like, I don't care. Like, if we're gonna have celebrities, I'd rather have CM Punk than Halliburton, and I don't want CM Punk on my show either. I wish CM Punk didn't come back, to be brutally honest, but it's another story for another day. Jordynne Grace versus Sol Ruca. What'd you think?
I feel like the only thing that I said earlier that this was missing, I would have liked it. I forgot who's the one that did the open challenge. I think it was Westfire with the open challenges before that everybody was running to the ring. I would have liked that type of thing here to show that there's competition in the locker room. I have the girls fighting on the way to the ring of like to see who will answer it. So first when Soul's music came up, I was like waiting. I was like, yeah, somebody's going to attack you and definitely not going to be in this match. So I was waiting for that to kind of happen. And then she came out. I was like, okay, it is her. Okay, sure. I was like, I don't mind the match. But it's just the fact that I just expected them to like give us a visual of all the girls, because like you have through the night showing us the girls backstage getting ready. They will have the gear on because you didn't know who's gonna do the open challenge, but they don't show us any of them try to fight to the ring to get to the open challenge. I would have liked to see that kind of detailing there, but again, this was a fun match. I like how Soul was able to, the way she just reversed so many of Jordan's moves. It was just so well done. Like the muscle buster at one point, the way she did it. And I like that was also towards like I think it was towards the end of the match when Jordan's like leaning towards the ropes and Soul was climbing the post. And Jordan being the vet that she is, she just shook the rope so that way Soul will fall down. And they're like, well, she's crafty. She tried to find a way to like slow her down, and that was her way of doing so. So that was well done. I just hope though that for this match, I know with Soul it would have been difficult because you don't want to like kill her like momentum, to put it like that. But I would have liked to see a clean finish in this match. That's the only thing that I didn't like about it. And the lights came off, and I was like, no, but why? I could have liked this more after the match rather than during it. But with the lights out, we get Wendy. Well, first we get Rosemary, who's distracting Jordan. Obviously, Jordan and Rosemary are familiar with each other, so she's gonna pay attention to her. And then Wendy Chu just chokes out Jordan during the match that causes a DQ. So we get that this is a signal that Rosemary was mentioning earlier of like, we're gonna show you something a little bit later, just watch out. But I would have done it after the match rather than during it, though. That's the only difference.
Yep. The match was solid. Otherwise, I thought it was a really good match. The finish was, of course, a blue balls finish because we're building to Wendy Chu versus Jordynne Grace at TNA Forever Battle or whatever the hell it's called.
Victory Road.
Sure, that sounds like a good one too. I don't know. I'm just having fun at this point. I'm going to continue spelling out nonsense names just for the hell of it now.
I know. I realize.
Future Coach CM Punk to you, sir. Yeah. I don't want to get into it. At least I'm not as bad as the people on Twitter who saw the picture between him, Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade and had some less than nice things to say about him. I don't want him in my wrestling ring, but, you know, WWE fans are really, really weird sometimes. And the IWC is the worst place in the world for so many reasons. Yeah, so thank you for our nice little corner of the IWC for not doing those crazy, stupid things. I appreciate it. By the way, if you don't follow, go ahead and follow Mike the Ref on Twitch. I gave a shout out over to him over there. Mike the Ref does a bunch of gaming content, but more importantly, Mike the Ref is your one-stop shop for all things AEW. He'll be doing his AEW watch along tomorrow night as they go ahead and have their the Fallout to All Out Murder Fest 2024, where everybody tried to murder people on television. So definitely go ahead and check that out tomorrow night with Mike. You can also catch him on Saturday nights at the Fight Club, where he normally does a gaming stream beforehand and then does Collision, I believe is the Saturday show. And he always follows all of his AEW shows with WWE 2K24 GM mode, so you can go ahead and check that out. He is in Season 2, building to, I believe it is Hell in the Cell, if I remember correctly, from the Saturday night show, but I don't know. Mike will correct me in the chat. I'm sure.
Jealous of your memory.
Of what?
Of remembering everything.
The only way I watch AEW is if Mike's doing a watch-along, or as he calls them a sidecast. But I mean, that's the only reason why. That's the only way I'll watch AEW. God, I wouldn't watch that product on my own. Kidding me? I didn't have people talk so I can make fun of it. Again, I love AEW. I want them to be successful. I'm going to mock them mercilessly while I do it, though. Anyways, on track. We get a Lyra, Valkyria, and so I have issues with this. I have many issues with this segment.
Yeah.
All the WWE figures. By the way, I didn't know Roxanne Perez had a WWE figure, so good for Roxanne. I didn't know that was that we had. When she starts handing the WWE figures to her, and it's like Becky Lynch, she's like, I know you like her. Here's Becky Lynch. And Lyra's all confused as to what the hell's going on, and they got the playground in the back. But, like, the whole setup is, like, you can tell it's, like, those wood pallets set up to, like, make this little makeshift playhouse. Mm-hmm. It was really weird. And Tatum's like, doing all of the Tatum things completely in her own little fucking world. And Lyra's like, "No, come on, we gotta focus. We gotta focus on the weirdos." And I'm like, seriously? You're talking to Tatum Paxley? You're talking about weirdos?
No, I like how she answered the doll. She goes, "This is Shayna, but I'm giving her to you because I'm mad at her for what she did to you on Raw." And I was like, I like the continuity there. And then she talks about one day and she goes, "I thought we could be friends because we're both outcasts." And I'm like, me too. I wanted that. I was like, man, this is painful. I really wanted you both together. But I like this kind of interaction between both of them. It's like, I'm going to show you my playhouse. And this is Roxanne because we need a champion. And this one. I know you love Becky Lynch. It was so cute. My spoopy girls together.
And Lyra Valkyria, the bird lady, just stuck there like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I here? What is going on?
Like, didn't I get called up a couple months ago? I'm just wondering. But no, this was nice.
Yeah. We do have Noob and Co. talking about All Out. All Out was crazy in the bloodbath in the main event. Yeah, All Out was indeed crazy. And to everybody who enjoyed it, good for you. I'm very, very happy. It seemed like it was a good show. Barring about 4 murders that happened on the show.
Sure.
There's at least 3 murders, potentially 4. I don't know if there was a 4th. Anyways, we get Ava with Giulia in the office, and Funaki is here! SmackDown #1 announcer Funaki. And he's doing the translating for Giulia with the English, which I thought was nice.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously she shows it when Roxanne comes in and starts talking. Giulia's like, no, I got this, Funaki. I understand what's going on. And I'm like, I like that. She understands the English, but she has Funaki there just in case to help bridge the gap, which I thought was good.
Mm-hmm.
And Roxanne's like, everybody wants this, and Chef Sean wants this, and Ava wants this, and Giulia wants this. I don't know if I'm going to do it on October 1st. And Ava's like, no, this is happening. You're doing it. And Giulia just walks up to her and she goes, "You're scared. You should be." And I'm like, yes.
This made me laugh though because Roxanne being Roxanne, she also says like, might as well put the red carpet because you're giving her everything that she wants. And then the way that Giulia starts though, she goes, "Roxanne, I understand." And she goes, "You're scared." And it's like, "You should be." And I went, damn girl. Okay, cue the Taylor Swift little old me in the background when she says that too. Somebody make an edit out of it, please. I will like that next. Bobby, this is another one for your Taylor Swift playlist. But no, that's all I can think about in my mind. But again, it's like I like her, even though the Funaki is there. I like her being like, "No, I can do this," and showing that confidence there too. You go, girl.
I really hope that match is 10 seconds and Giulia just absolutely destroys her with a knee and just puts her down. I think that would be fantastic. Build to Halloween Havoc, build to a big show, and just have her absolutely massacre Roxanne in like 20 seconds.
Excuse you?
There is a place and time for a shocking squash, and I think Giulia Roxanne would be it. Roxanne being like, "I don't take this seriously. I don't want you here. You're just getting everything handed to you." Boom, 1 running knee, 1, 2, 3. And then her bitch whining, moaning, and complaining that she needs a rematch because she didn't take it seriously. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'd be down for that. I think that would be fun. Yes.
No.
More importantly, beating Roxanne in 3 seconds, which is always fun. We get Brooks Jensen backstage trying to talk to Dion Lennox. Why anybody wants to talk to Dion Lennox, I don't understand, but Jensen's
he's reading though. Why would you talk to him? That's a big no-no.
I mean, I would never talk to Astrid if it was the fact that she's reading, because she's always reading.
See, there you go.
Constantly track her. But he asks him about the gaslighting, and he's about to explain it, and Sean Spears walks up. And Dion's like, "Look, if you need me, you know where to find me," and he walks away. Spears is like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Well, he said you were gaslighting me." And he's like, "Well, look, are you going to continue to believe other people who are telling you what to believe, or are you going to go ahead and think for yourself, like I'm allowing you to do? Because I'm a friend to you, and I'm letting you make your own decisions. And he's a friend like Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley. They weren't friends to you. Not like I can be." And I'm like, oh my God, Sean Spears is almost as good as gaslighting as Roman Reigns was.
Very close, yes.
No, not he's not that close, but he's getting there.
No.
He's getting up.
Yeah.
Hey, Roman Reigns had main event Jey Uso completely under his grasp with that gaslight. But no, I mean, I love this. I love this side of Sean Spears. I think this psychological villain works very well for him. I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's a fun way to go about doing a story like this. Bring attention to the gaslighting. Bring attention to these situations and portray it out on camera. Make sure people are mentioning to Brooks Jensen, that he's being gaslit, but allow him to continue to be gaslit. To show how this is how it operates. This is how it operates, so people can see the evilness of gaslighting.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Like, again, NXT obviously knew exactly what they were doing because NXT heavily promoted last week's controversial segment of the week with the Oba Femi and Ariana Rizzo thing. They continue to promote that on social media everywhere. So NXT knew exactly what they were doing. And again, controversial, yes. Wrong, up for interpretation. Because again, Oba Femi said in many cultures. He didn't say, I think you should stay there and shut up. He said, in many cultures, you should be seen and not heard. And by the way, I agree. Charlie Dempsey's feeling more and more like he was right every week. We get another nonsense segment between Eddie Thorpe and Ashanti the Adonis. Eddie Thorpe had a bunch of girls with him, including Carmen Petrovic this week. It was Carmen Petrovic. It was the Russian lady from NXT Next Gen. It was the NIL lady that we've seen before. And then there was two other random people. Again, they don't really matter because Ashanti's only looking at them as potential conquests. So who they are really doesn't much matter as much as the Eddie Thorpe being the good guy who's like, no, they're just my friends who I'm talking to as I walk around the building. Oh, she's from the Ukraine. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. She's not Russian. She is Ukrainian.
I was about to say that.
That is a very, very big difference. Thank you for pointing that out to me. I apologize. But for Mel, we talked about Eddie Thorpe. He's on screen. We're moving on. This is where we get the Tyrese Halliburton is coming to NXT. I don't give a shit stuff. We get the rundown for next week, which is going to be Lola Vice versus JC Jane. We get Tatum Paxley and Lyra Valkyria taking on Wendy and Rosemary. And we have the contract signing of Ethan Page and Trick Williams for the CW debut show. We also found out at the very end of the show that CM Punk is going to be here to announce the thing he teased on Twitter. He called Ava. He should just call Ava instead of announcing it on Twitter. But he's going to be here next week to talk about it. So I'm guessing he won't be at Raw next week.
Yeah, at least it's not going to involve a friendship bracelet.
No, but you can buy yours at www.shop.com. You shouldn't. That's stupid. But you can if you really want to. Buy a CM
They took him off.
Did they really?
Apparently.
It's the stupidest fucking thing in the... Like, why... A friend of mine put this on Twitter. Why would you bother? It's something that WWE makes sense that they want to sell it. It's a piece of a thing that they're selling for the thing. Just like they should sell the Ufalafa. No, that's not the name. That's what I call it on my own thing. It's not what it's really called. It's the what's the actual name for the?
I thought it was that. No.
No. I call it the Ufalafa Hafa. I think it's the Ulafala. I believe is the actual name for the beads. But I'm like, I see the point of selling them because if somebody's stupid enough to buy it, great, cool. But at the same time, it's like, I don't understand why you would buy a friendship bracelet made specifically for CM Punk with CM Punk's wife and dog's name on it.
The only way I would buy it, right, and I put it in quotes, if I could customize it with somebody else's name on it or my name on it, for example. You know what I mean? But that's something you're not going to get from WWE. That's something you get from a small shop or from somebody that's making them, which we have a lot of people in the community that do that.
Or just make it yourself.
You can do, but I'm just saying, if you wanted to, exactly like that one, the only way I would do it would be kind of like an Etsy shop sort of thing, is that you customize it and you put your own person's name in it. But I want that says AJ in everywhere. I don't have an AJ or Larry.
I know it's so silly. By the way, I did like the. I'm going back to something because I just thought of it when I was talking about AJ. Giulia did the spider, the spider submission hold, and I was like, oh, I like that AJ call out with her about to face Roxanne, whose mother is AJ. Not really, but you know what I'm talking about. I thought it was funny that she did that submission in the match to call out little bit of call out to Roxanne. I thought that was nice. Mm-hmm. And then we had the main event: Trick Williams versus. Oh, I'm sorry. At some point here, we had a second segment backstage with the women as the women were heading out to get ready for the open challenge with Jordynne, and Jada Parker comes through with a baseball bat looking for the Terrible Trio, and Lola says, "If you need a friend, I'm here for you to go ahead and take them on because they were here and." I had to run in with them. So,
and now that you mentioned Jada too, at the beginning of the show, they showed Trick arriving, they showed Jordynne arriving, and there was somebody else too.
Julia.
There was 3, Julia. And there was exactly as they come in, you can see Jada in the parking lot with the baseball bat waiting for them. I saw a tweet that said, "Jada's the smartest person by being in the parking lot with a weapon in her hand." And I love how we get 3 different people, different places in the parking lot and she's with the same badges waiting for them.
Yeah. Chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the main event. What did you think of Last Man Standing, Trick Williams versus Pete Dunne?
I feel like it was really well done. It was one of those things I had a feeling Trick was going to win, so that wasn't really a surprise to me. I feel like it would have been a bigger surprise if somebody came in and cost Pete Dunne the championship match, to put it like that. But again, it's the moments that we get outside of the way that Trick lands on the concrete. And at one point, the way he just turns it around on Pete. Pete taking that cover from the commentary table and literally throwing Trick onto that and on the barricade at the same time. I feel like that really got a great reaction. But having Ethan there just made me laugh. Having him literally in front of both of them, kind of looking at both of them to see who was coming up first. And when he noticed it was Trick, he went to Ethan. He went to Pete, sorry, and he looked at him. He's like, "Come on, get up! Come on! I'd rather have you than him." And when he goes to attack Trick, so Trick is not able to really stand up. Trick just flips him onto the commentary table. He's out, and Trick just wins by actually standing up to do that, which is ironic because he was really just attacking Ethan. He wasn't really standing up to win the match. But again, he won the match, so we get the contract signing with Trick next week instead.
Do we think it was a bit too much hardcore WWE after just coming off a 22 minute long 8-person no holds barred tag on Raw last night? Because I didn't care about this because I was still thinking about all the great spots that they essentially redid from the Alpha Academy, from the American Made versus Wyatt 6 match the night before.
Yeah.
It's fine. It was great. It did the things it needed to do. It was entertaining, but it didn't live up to that match. Like I said, the coolest spot you talked being up on the Eagle's Nest and doing that spot off the Eagle's Nest. That's the coolest spot of the whole match. But you've got to kind of space this stuff out, and they did a really well done commercial-free hardcore match the night before. And then they came back with Last Man Standing here, and it's
And I feel like I understand that this was the main event, but I feel like if you would have let this be commercial free, I feel like that would have been better in that aspect too, being that you have such a continuous thing going on. I would have preferred this being the commercial free 30 minutes, have it for this match more than any other match tonight.
Yeah, I as much as I love the Street Profits versus Axiom, it didn't need to be commercial free. Sure as hell didn't need to. I liked that Giulia was commercial free. That was good. We got 10 straight minutes of that.
Yeah.
But we then get Ava backstage with her cohorts. And CM Punk will be here next week, as we've mentioned a few times already. Astrid, what'd you think of the show?
Yeah, it felt like a lot going on. Trying to keep up with everything that's going on in NXT right now. It's not easy when they're going to the premiere soon. So it definitely felt like just a lot of that. But again, I feel like it's mostly positive. As we always say in here, is so far, Chef Sean was cooking for the most part. So it was okay. Yeah.
And if you want to stay up to date with what we've got going on as we head into the CW debut, watch the video.
Please note,
do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Phones are calling and the eyes seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming for the sake of all your lies. Why don't you try to be why? Now that I need you anyway. I never wanted to be alive, just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks a beat of time, I press the lens just to tell you, don't leave the way, don't leave the same. Then I try with a child playing the rain. I feel like I'm fading.
And that's what we've got coming up this week. Again, make sure you go ahead and check out all the stuff that's already happened. There are two new Mark interviews with Kimmy Sokol and Auntie Collins. We got the new one with Ella J coming up. We've got more on tap. Don't you worry, those Mark interviews are going to keep rocking and rolling. Astrid, what do you have coming up in the near future?
What I see on the calendar there, Victory Road has a post show with Mark and myself. We noticed how much we enjoy talking about the TNA product and everything going on there. So we're going to be doing a post show for that. So a few minutes after the baby, we will have that going on. And then after that, next week again, being here on Tuesday talking NXT with you. Other than that, as most of you are here on my YouTube channel, this is just a little test to see moving forward, but most likely I would say like 90% taking over will be staying on my YouTube channel live as it is happening. I feel like it's a lot better for both of us. Twitch is just not the greatest thing right now, unfortunately, with prices. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe and hit that bell to be notified whenever I go live or I upload a video. I would appreciate that. You can find me on my Twitter and Blue Skies Astrid Pizarro, my Instagram and Threads Astrid Pizarro 20, and then if you scan the QR code, there you go. If you scan the QR, you get the usual sales and prices on Debbie's shop, but a little bit goes back to me, which in part we use for a lot of the Canva graphics that we use here for OLE as a whole. The other QR code that you see there is for my merch. This is from Your Wear, and usually it is modeled by Mel and Mike in there, as you can see. So, and that's the design right in the middle.
Yeah, and this is the design here. It looks great. Oh, I forgot to hit a button. You can go ahead and catch me every Tuesday night with Astrid Pizarro as we talk all things NXT. You can catch me on the Beetlejuice review that me and Bobby Munson did last night. So you can go ahead and go on the YouTube channel to go ahead and check that out. What did I think of Beetlejuice? The non-horror fan person think of the horror specialty Beetlejuice. Go ahead and check that out. And remember, my terrible horror moment is not over yet, because Spooky Ookie Month is starting early for old Ed, as next Wednesday night, Marvel Talk makes its triumphant return with an episode reviewing the first 2 episodes of Agatha All Along. Make sure you watch the episodes before you watch our show. We'll be going right into spoilers. We will not be doing non-spoilers. We'll be talking about the 2 episodes after they air. It'll be probably the next day, so it's Wednesday, Thursday. Depending when they're actually going to air these things, we'll let you know more on the calendar this week once we know more from Disney+. You're going to have 9 straight weeks of Marvel Talk as we go ahead and do all of those episodes. You can catch me. You might catch some special guests. This one might be making an appearance. Not him, but the one over there, Astrid. Bobby Munson will probably be making an appearance or 2. We're going to be going ahead and talking all things Marvel Talk, Agatha All Along. So we're very excited to do that. It's been a while since we've done Marvel Talk. I'm glad to be getting it back. Yes, spoilers, Rob. Spoilers. Watch the damn shows. Watch the damn show. Millie Rose says, thank you for the stream. She also asked me a question. She says, I said the match should need to be 10 minutes, and we got 10 minutes for Giulia. Yes, I'm glad that the Giulia match was in its entirety without a commercial break. I want that. I did not need to see Giulia versus Chelsea Green for 10 minutes. It is both. Yes, Rob. They don't air at 3 a.m. anymore. We can do them earlier, but we'll talk about that on Discord later on. Ed can absolutely make up his mind. Stop this.
Thank you, SCG.
Ed is perfectly fine at making up his mind. And Billy Rose says, fair. I have a Discord. I do. And if you want the Olay Discord, if you give me Wait, no, we don't have the Ole Discord up and running for fans just yet. We have the Ole Discord for us in the background. We don't have one up for the fans just yet. Hopefully soon we'll get an Ole Discord for the fan base growing up, but not right now.
I mean, we all have personal Discords, to put it like that. That's what we use here because we like technology.
We don't like Slack. Our Canadian friends tried to get us to use Slack. We all, the Americans, hated it, so we switched to Discord, which the Americans vastly prefer. And
there's only two, technically.
Except Auntie. Auntie doesn't like the Discord, neither does Kyle, but that's fine.
Yeah.
They use it. But thank you for joining us. Make sure that you catch us. Oh, you can also catch me on Ring Respect Radio in October. I'm going to be hosting the October quiz. I'm giving up my seat as a competitor. I'm not going to be challenging for the championship. Instead, I'm going to be shoving Bobby Munson into the challenger's seat as I go ahead, and I have written an 8-question quiz special for the month of October. So definitely go ahead and check that out and see if you can become the Ring Respect Radio What the Fuck Do We Know About Pro Wrestling Pub Quiz champion. But myself, for Astrid Pizarro, thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
I am in misery.